Dear Fatima, dear Dan, dear guests, dear friends. This year's event comes at a particular moment, as we are about to experience a significant change in the life of European institutions. Later today at our conference, Neelie Kroes will deliver one of her last speeches as European Commissioner. In the past 5 years, she won an important battle. She managed to put digital on the top of the policy agenda of European governments. Who among you in the audience can today imagine a government without a digital agenda? And I propose and ask you, let's make an applause to Neelie Kroes for the work she did in the last 5 years. Before entering into the debate, and as we are at the Beaux-Arts, I feel compelled to refer to the remarkable exhibition that is currently ongoing upstairs. It's called Pointing from Siena. The curator who organized the exhibition in the context of the Italian presidency of the EU has underlined how, at that time, Siena was one of the leading intellectual and economic centers of the world. There is a sense of nostalgia in all of this, isn't it? Let's not rest on our laurels. We should build on our past and draw from it with the determination we need to succeed. This is why I want to take it from there, from a museum, and with a provocative line. We don't want to become a museum, do we? So, with the enthusiasm and the forward-looking energy that characterize our industry, let me look ahead and see how we can win a new battle together and jointly achieve positive, significant change for EU consumers and business during the next term of the European Commission. ETNO, since the very beginning, welcomed Jean-Claude Juncker's appointment as President of the European Commission, and equally, we praised him for appointing experienced politicians like Andrus Ansip and Günther Oettinger as the new Commission digital leaders. A new term is a unique opportunity for all to think how to reorient policies towards the achievement of ambitious growth objectives. For this reason, we look with great interest at the appointment of vice presidents specifically entrusted to coordinate the work of the various commissioners and their respective director generals. We have been publicly supportive of a more streamlined and synchronized approach to digital issues. In this context, we also welcome the clear objective to promote policies that are pro-growth and that are openly streamlined towards achieving greater investment in infrastructures. This objective has both been set out in the mission letters, and it was clearly voiced by Commissioner-designate Oettinger during Monday's hearing at the Parliament. Vice President Ansip and Commissioner Oettinger expertise and leadership will be more than needed in a scenario in which the EU telecom industry is being seriously challenged in the context of an extremely competitive global environment. Nevertheless, a new digital agenda commissioner alone will not suffice the change of the situation. We need a profound change of perception, of approach, and of mentality. We needed that to change because the digital industry is shaping our future and that of our society, and the current policy paradigms seem not to be working anymore. We needed the right policies to be behind new business models and the courage to implement these policies. We can make this game a win-win for all the players involved. The perception of the telecommunication industry has long been influenced by the wave of liberalization, the main goal being to open markets to competition and lower prices, Companies were looked at either as big dominant player or as charging too much money to consumers. This made a clear sense at the beginning, and the objective of achieving open and competitive markets has been attained. From today's perspective, though, does such a way of looking at markets still make sense? We will never seriously embrace the objective of growth and a new start for Europe if we don't change this perception. A change in perception doesn't cost a penny, but it is necessary to start a new phase of policy making, and, as I will explain later, it can literally translate into billions of new investments. Do we ever hear about how our lives have been changed, mainly thanks to the investment of the telecom operators? Do we realize enough that if we can today use exciting services like the service that our friend Red Hastings of Netflix, that later will be with us, or Uber on our smartphone, this has not come spontaneously like this, out of the blue. This is the outcome of many years of planned investment and service development. When investors ask telecom operators more certainty about delivering a fair return on their investment, it is because the required investments are massive and the payback does not come immediately. Let's talk objective then. Do we have collectively, as European companies, citizens, and institutions, a shared objective to grab of future opportunity? We as ETNO have a proposal for a shared objective. Let's unlock together a flood of new investments in network and services. We need them for you citizens. They demand world-class networks, innovative services, and a diverse choice. We need them for businesses. They want Europe's digital spine to empower globally competitive companies. We need those investments also for Europe's public sector. With more investment, we can deliver better and more efficient public services and healthcare to Europeans. For this reason, I would like us to bet on a new deal for growth. And a new deal requires that we all share a vision. And such a vision comes first from the EU, where common objectives are set. Unless this happens, growth will not follow. Some years ago, some of us had the privilege to meet Stephen Temple, the father of the GSM MOU, here in Brussels. He ascribed the success of GSM project to the intense and loyal cooperation between EU operators, which made the signing of the original document in September 1987 possible. This is precisely what we now miss. If the EU governments take the digital agenda seriously, they need to do more than just apply the competition rules and wail until Adam Smith's invisible hand delivers broadband for all. The institutions have the duty to foster the cooperation of industry players to develop new platforms and services. Europe is too much fragmented. To unify the continent, not only cooperation between governments is required, but also between companies. And such cooperation cannot be frustrated by overly restrictive competition rules. The next challenge will therefore be how to further improve the cooperation between the industry and the institutions in order to attain the objective of the new Commission. Therefore, I suggest that we all take into consideration the idea of creating a new platform with a formal European Commission decision. And this platform should be in charge of facilitating the achievements of policy goals by developing innovative industry solutions. Let me now share some consideration from a policy viewpoint. You can find some of these also in ETNO's Agenda 2015, which I think has been distributed to you today. We know from a recent estimation by Arthur D. Little that the European telecom sector will be able to contribute with an investment capacity of more than 250 billion euro over the next 5 years. But this is not enough. To maximize economic value and welfare, more coherent and supportive policies are needed. This is key because according to Little, the economic multiplier can vary substantially from 1.5 to 13 times the initial investments. In the best scenario, the value at stake for the digital transformation of Europe would be worth trillions euro. Isn't this an exciting opportunity to grab? But be aware, infrastructures and investment without a real digital transformation are inefficient. Simply keeping prices low without innovation perspective is wasteful and unsustainable and will yield short-term surplus without long-term welfare creation. In this context, we share the urgent call for ambition that President Juncker has underlined several times and that Commissioner Oettinger has so strongly put forward during his recent dialogue with the Parliament. At ETNO, we believe that the old telecom regulatory framework should be reformed now. Europe needs regulation which is fit for the digital age. And this can be done, first and foremost, by alleviating traditional ex-ante regulation and by building on a simple, faster institutional governance. We know Europe is very complex. The European system is very complex, sometimes too much complex. Less rules, a more cross-sectorial and commercial approach will have the merit to lay the ground for an investment-friendly environment. We have to look for a new regulatory paradigm where also regulators became one of the drivers of growth and not simply control prices or impose fines. Second, we should better recognize the competitive dynamics of the new value chain. The services demanded by consumers imply a globalized digital value chain in which European companies compete and collaborate with companies around the globe. For this reason, when and where regulation is still appropriate, the same service, same rules. Principles should apply in the interest of both consumers and businesses. Third, none of us wants other players to come and shop for shrinking EU telcos. Then we should acknowledge that building scale is important. And by doing that, we will also give European consumers strong companies that can deliver a much higher consumer surplus in the longer term. Finally, EU citizens want to be reassured about data privacy and security. Trust is crucial, and not only from a political viewpoint, but also from a societal or business perspective. If trust is lacking, this can put in serious question consumer and business use of the new opportunities offered in the digital ecosystem. Big data and cloud are huge opportunities that can be unlocked by striking the right balance between data protection and innovation. Let me stop here. Today we have the unique opportunity to hear the view of our CEOs who daily make investment happen, and they will give us their recipe on how to unlock a digital renaissance for Europe. We love a museum, and we want to keep on visiting them to learn more about the beauties and the extraordinary achievement of the past. Let's now hear from our CEOs how to win the achievement of the future. Thank you very much.